Hi everyone, it's Diane Evans here with stampinwithdiane.com. I am in Montreal and I'm here with my son. This is Chris. And I remember I kind of said that maybe that he would come in and help or maybe show you how to do some our Stampin' Blends. He is an artist. I'm not, but I fake it, you know. But in any event, welcome to my YouTube channel, my Facebook group live. I do appreciate, or my Facebook page live. I do appreciate you being here. I know I haven't announced this, and we do have at least one viewer on here so far. So, in any event, say hello. Tell us where you're from. Um, Chris is going to show us some different coloring techniques and mainly using the neutral colors. And I think that it might help you to understand a little tiny bit more. He's more of a silent artist, so I'm going to be pulling that stuff out of him. Remember to subscribe to my YouTube down below here. And yeah, if you have any questions, pop them out here. We'll try to answer those as we go. And let's just get on coloring. So let's just get down here. We're in a different setup, so it's a little bit, we might have to just adjust things. So there we go.
All right. Good.
So this stamp set is the Color with Friends. I picked out a couple, and he's going to show you some of the other stuff that he just colored and maybe give you a couple of tips and tricks. And I think it's this one. I'll move out of the way.
Sure. Do you want me just to start, or should I start with what I did?
Well, no, I would do this and show those later.
All right. So the first thing I did is I've actually never used these. So I sort of went through and marked down the sort of the skin tone range that my mom asked me to sort of demonstrate how to color. So I wrote them all out, and then I colored them to see what they looked like on the same type of paper, because these things always seem to look different on depending on what type of paper you're working on. So I did that, and then I also did a second layer of it just to see how much more ink that you get into what you're coloring when you add layers to it, because that's tends to be how I work when I color with alcohol markers. So
we've got Margaret here from Australia.
Okay.
It's 2:00 in the morning.
Wow. That's
crazy.
Yeah, that's dedication right there. Okay, so this was the one you wanted me to start with, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see here. We could go into sort of the 900 to 600 range here, which is not appropriately numbered like properly here, but I am going to start with a lighter color because you want to build these up. I'm actually going to start with Petal Pink. Where did that guy go? There it is. This is the dark one. This is the light one. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do, is I'm just going to fill in the skin here. Get that all colored in. And with these types of markers, I find that they're very forgiving. You can just kind of do whatever. And if it goes out, you can always fix it later. All right. What color shirt should she be wearing?
Oh, Summer Splash.
Hit me with some Summer Splash. All right. This is the lighter of them.
Oh, is that Shy Shamrock? No, that's Summer Splash.
Light Summer Splash.
Okay. That's the light. I don't know where the dark went to. It's over there.
Probably.
So you're just laying it down and saturating it?
Yeah.
Kind of what you're doing?
It depends. Sometimes with the paper, you want to work layer by layer slowly so that the ink has time to dry. But then other times, you want to work with it while it's still wet, because it gives you like a nicer blend and a nicer tapering. So right now I'm just sort of adding in a little bit more ink to show some volume, so that it looks like there's actual, there's somebody in there.
You're giving shape to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a start with that there. And then let's see. What were the color?
Boho blue? No, it was balmy blue you used for
You want me to use something the same thing I did?
Yeah.
All right, I'll
Yeah.
do the same thing.
balmy blue, light balmy blue.
That's Moonlight. Is this balmy blue?
No, that's
Night.
balmy blue is
This one.
no, that's boho.
That's
this
boho.
is balmy. Here's balmy.
Oh, you have balmy blue. All right. So I also keep a page next to me so I can always double check and make sure it looks right and will look good. Am I in the center here? Here we go.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to fill this in.
That is actually dark balmy blue.
Dark balmy blue works. We're just going to go with
This
it.
is the light.
I find a lot of these markers look different when they sit for a minute. They look darker as soon as you put it down, but then they change color quite a bit.
You should see this table is there's pens all over the place.
Looks normal. There we go. And there was a light balmy blue, you said? That's this one?
That's that one.
One thing I found with these is the lighter colors pull the darker colors out.
And work like a lifter, right?
Yeah, and then it doesn't go full, like, it doesn't like remove all the pigment, so it sort of gives you that highlight that you can
That's
go
a
for.
really good hint, is to use your lighter colors to lift some of the color away, right?
And then, you know, when you're out and about, look at how light falls on things, and there often happens to be like a halo around the outside. And right now I sort of have my light source coming. It's a soft light source coming from over here. I haven't added any value to the skin tone yet. I just laid down the pink petal, and I want that one to be dry, which is why I didn't go back into it with a darker color up here. The clothing is I think it's better to sort of get in there and get that stuff all saturated and where you want it. Now I liked, what was the color I liked for the sandals? I think
It was Poppy Parade.
What's this? This is pink. This is bright pink.
That is that's Melon Mambo. You know what might be really nice?
I like Melon Mambo.
Okay,
It's
all
looking
right.
good.
Yeah.
It's fun.
There's a dark Melon Mambo there.
It's okay. I really like how stiff these marker tip ends
The
are.
bullet point.
Yeah,
Hi, Lila.
There we go. I'll just get a little bit more in here.
So when he's got this, let me just pull this up just a little bit closer to the camera. Oops.
We need light.
Need light. So,
Oh,
oops. So you can see where he's getting he's like giving the depth to the clothing and that sort of stuff there. I like that Melon Mambo for the samples.
yeah, they're good.
Okay.
Looks good. All right, so now I am actually going to go in and start with this 900 because it looks like a good step up.
And what I'll do is we have a color chart with these on here that you can play with your natural colors. And then you can also mix your colors too, right?
Yeah, right back
But we haven't
here.
done any of that.
Nice and dark.
So the color's coming in this way, right?
Yeah, coming in from over here. Same as the last one that I did here.
Oh, Karen's
A little
on here
bit
too.
on. Like I said, just put the color on. Doesn't have to be perfect. Now, color hair. I'm gonna keep working the skin here for a minute though.
The hair?
Yeah.
Pecan pie?
All right. What does that look like?
This is pecan pie.
Oh, this is dark pecan pie.
And this is light.
All right.
I think you put yellow in this one. You laid down some
Oh,
yellow
I
first.
did, didn't I? So I think I actually used.
That you used the light daffodil.
I used the light one, yeah.
Light daffodil to light.
So we just sort of In the same way that you would imagine light sort of spilling over, our hair reacts to light differently too. So the edges tend to have that highlight. Now before I jump into the pecan pie here, just want to lay that down. I'm gonna, sorry, I'm not checking which side I'm working from here. Dark, okay. Now, what I tend to do is once there are two, like when there's two tones like this, you don't want to jump into the dark one right away. You want to sort of see how much you need to work with the light one, or how much latitude you have with the light one before you start getting closer to what this color is. Like if you can sort of blend them in together, then you know that you have 2 layers of this particular color, maybe 3, because this is pretty saturated, until it gets into the dark one. So then you start working with the lighter ones and you build up into the dark so that you don't get into the dark colors and then your shadows are all kind of crazy all over the place. So I will start with the light pecan here, and I'm just going to loosely fill this in. And then what I want to do is I do want to take the light one. Again, this what is this one again? Daffodil Delight. And sort of blend them together a bit, make the transition of color a little softer.
And by putting that Daffodil Delight down, you're also saturating the paper more, right?
Yeah. And then what happens when you put on a darker color is it pulls that color out and makes it less intense. Like you can actually see a lot of that happen here. It's still bleeding into the two, and that transition is getting a little softer. So then here, just keep building this one up until I get to that dark point. That's good. And then with this tip, you can actually pull out sections, because when you look at hair,
you're giving her highlights.
Yeah, well, I mean, not like light highlights. I'm not like styling her hair here. Right. So that's looking good.
You guys want to see that up closer? I'll show you a little bit closer so you can see.
Lighting isn't doing it much favors, but
It's better. Can I zoom in a little more? Can we bring down the camera a little bit more, maybe?
ooh, I don't know.
Let's see if we can go down just a bit. Is that going to help? That's a little bit better, right? Yeah, let's try that.
Try that. Is it focused?
Yeah.
All right. Now, let's see. I like the idea. All right. I like the idea of an orange or a yellow mug, I guess.
Orange mug? Yellow
what color mug should we do? I'll let you pick.
Okay. Remember, this has a bad tip.
And let's.
Unless you do this end, not the brush end.
I have an orange mug, so I tend to draw my mugs orange. Color them orange.
Here, there's this one too. It's peach.
It's okay. Like this. So I'm not coloring all the way to the edge.
You just have to move this up.
Oh yeah, sorry. I'm used to tucking in close here. So right here and here I'm leaving a little bit of white, just a little bit of highlight. I do a lot of my drawing digitally, so there's a lot more room to make mistakes, but this is a lot of fun.
Okay.
All right, so I haven't put any shadow in yet, but what do you think? You want to do gray for the steps?
Yeah.
Okay. So this was the light granite, and this is, ooh, light smoky slate. I didn't see what that one was.
And there's a dark gray granite too.
What's this one?
Yeah.
Dark gray granite.
Yeah.
Dark gray granite. Light gray granite. How was that one?
There's a lot more. It's a yellow, the granite. Then there's more blue in the smoky slate.
So here's what we'll do. Let's see. This is a surface. And this is a surface. And this is, oh, this one is starting to fray too, so you gotta be careful. But sometimes that's good too. You can use it for texture. Now let's see here if we can get that. I wonder. I'm worried. That's better. All right, so those are the surfaces. That's right. There we go. I'm just gonna move that up a bit and build this up a bit. Just knowing where my light's coming from.
Just a tiny bit. Yeah.
Up again.
Yeah.
Up again. There we go. Let me move this. Does this help? Sort of. Not really. Okay. And then where was that other one that we used? We were looking at this one, right?
Yeah.
It was this one. Dark gray granite.
Dark gray. This is smoky slate.
Smoky slate.
So smoky slate's in here too.
This must be smoky slate.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, this is warmer.
Yes.
Okay, I see. All right.
So what you're doing is you're putting the darker color at the back to give the depth back, right? Because
yeah. So I can. It's not super clear, but obviously she has to sit on a surface. So this is like where the step goes down, out, down. So I'm just sort of imagining that the light is maybe a little bit past this way so that there is variation in the color.
Okay.
And I could have done that by just combining the light gray a little bit more, but I did like that this had a little bit more like blue in it.
Yeah.
So it gave it more of like a shadow look where it's sort of taken care of for you without having to do a lot of extra work. A lot of the legwork is done. So now I want to play with the light gray granite, and then I want to sort of actually work on all of it to sort of bring all those colors in together. And then with this one, bring up some of the shadow that would be coming off of her. But because this is all very subtle, you have to do it a lot until it sort of looks right and work it in. Another thing I like to do with these is add in texture.
Is the part I really like, is this texture that you've done. It's kind of like I said, when I did that dirty towel technique with the fur and the
dirty towel technique.
That's where you add the fur. Did
Yes.
you ever learn that when you went to that class? Where you put the lifter solution, and I use rubbing alcohol onto a really coarse piece of terry cloth, and then I would dab it on there, and it would give that texture. Do you remember that technique?
Yeah, I remember that. That was in class. All right. So there. Now we got our gray in there. It's looking good. What do you think? Do you want me to put something in the back?
Yep.
On the last one I did yellow. I liked it.
Or the one thing you haven't done is that purple in there.
No, I haven't put that in. I also want to build up the skin maybe a little bit more here. So, but I don't want to go too much. I feel like I have to do 700 again to sort of oh, it's over here. Sorry. Just to build it up so it's not too much, because you can get to a point where you go too far, and then there's only so much that lifting pen can do. Well, that's looking good.
I'll take a picture of this and post this
in
the group, and then
light summer splash. You gave me light summer splash last time, right?
Yeah.
And it's dark summer splash.
Yeah.
So yeah, that one's pretty bright.
Such a pretty color.
It's not too much darker, so I just want to like hit some of these marks these lines, these folds in the fabric that light would fall on and would treat. So you'd sort of see it differently. Back here, we'll bring in a bit of shade too from that, and then down the back side here. That looks good. Good. Now, what you were talking about, I believe it was this pink that I was using.
It's fresh freesia.
Light fresh freesia, yes.
You like the names, eh?
I do. I think they're funny. I like them. So one thing I do when I'm doing my drawings is I tend to give like a very loose sort of line of suggest where like the darkest point on the body would be, and I tend to use like purples and lavenders and light blues. But in playing with these markers, I found that I did like how this one worked, and like when you look at it in not the pink on the outside, but inside here, you get this really nice sort of color. And what this adding this sort of this almost like adding the red into the blue and the green does is I find it really makes it pop in a way that,
yeah, see, that really, it's quite neat the way that lifted right in there and in here on the jeans and that. Really cool.
and I did do it down the skin. I am worried it's a little too intense. So what I can do is, I know I used 900, 700 in this one, is I can run it down. It does give it a little bit, maybe too much pink. So what I would do in that case is, I think it was the light balmy blue.
Yeah.
That was good for the shadow. I would test that as well, and that isn't bad. So I'm just going to give it a quick down, just to hint at shadow.
Never would have ever thought of that.
And I mean, shadow is blue, right? Like the light tends to look blue, and you see it in photographs because photos aren't like our eyes. They can't make those micro adjustments to see difference. If you take a picture and it's balanced for indoors, everything outside looks crazy blue, and you can just use that. So that's the surface that her foot is on, sort of creating a shadow there that's falling down there. And then I guess yellow is appropriate for the background again.
To be that one. There is a lemon lolly. Do you want to see what this one looks like?
Let's see what lemon lolly looks like.
No, is that lemon lolly?
It is. It's light lemon lolly.
It'll be lighter,
It's
and it has a
brighter.
lot more white in it.
It's brighter. So,
Bring that up.
yep. Sorry, all right, here we go. Maybe I'll move me. I'm just gonna fix in the back there.
This really shocked me.
What's that?
Just this yellow thing. It's nothing I would have ever thought of.
Well, I mean, I do
Here,
like
what did she say?
comic style drawing, right? Like,
Yeah, like Lala says, there's lots of depth, right? Like I never would have put that fresh freesia in there, but boy, does it make a difference. Like when I take a picture and I'll share it on my group. And I'll actually make a card with these ones. And you're putting some yellow in there too, eh?
yeah, if I'm sort of implying that there is some yellow that's in this world, what would happen then is that yellow would, well, that was a bit of a mistake. Well, that's okay. That yellow would bounce off of those things.
The
So
colors, yeah.
it's like, even in, like, if I'm drawing someone who's wearing, say, a black shirt, if there's a yellow source of light or something that's yellow, there's going to be like a bit of reflection that comes off of that that will always sort of influence influence how we're seeing the light.
Cool.
And this is one of those lifters, right?
Yeah.
I liked what the sort of that. See what happens with that. It all still, like, you really see how the ink is saturated the paper right now, but as the paper dries, that color will, yeah, that looks nice. There you go. It's like a painting. There you go. That's what I was doing.
Awesome.
That's good. What would be really nice is if there was a way to sort of add in some highlights after the fact.
Like you said, with a white gel pen.
Yeah, with like a gel pen, I'll go in afterwards, and even some, like, if when you're stamping in here, I can see that, like, the line weight, depending on, I guess, the way the ink sits on the pad, sometimes you might want like a darker line on the bottom, and I would want to add that in too to sort of bring out more depth and more punch, more dynamic range.
I would hope to stamp evenly.
Yeah. Come on, what is this? Oh, this is, but see here, like, I really actually like that.
That it blurred out a bit.
Yeah, there's something about that. Like, I really like old print and old aesthetic in that way, where, like, it's.
That's kind of like this one.
Yeah.
This one. He wants to color this, so he's going to color this.
Well, I want a tie. I want to wear that.
Oh, you want to wear that? Okay.
T-shirt.
All right. Okay. All right. So you can show them the other ones that you did.
Right. So then we
do it up a little closer.
We did the test here of that one first. So this one is still quite, like, wet. The paper is still almost not wet, but damp to the touch. And here there's a little bit more variation in the pants that I did, and I left a little bit more of that highlight naturally.
But I think we used light balmy blue on that instead of the dark.
Yeah. But in the case of this one, I would go in it with a darker one to sort of get this similar effect. This one maybe needs a little bit more dark down here, more added to it now that it's dry. Yeah, and this one has a sharper line too. So when you look at them together, it has like a more contrasted look. Like I said, I do comic stuff, so my stuff is always going to look a little cartoony in that regard. And then I colored these ones as well. I really liked that. I thought it was cute. This is what's going on in my back alley right now. So
with little Riley.
Yeah. And then in the same thing, like with this type of thing, I was very inclined to add a sort of frame to it. I actually wanted to draw it on. But I would take a gel pen and do my lines, my fishing lines with a gel pen on there, like a subtle sort of thing.
Awesome.
That's how I would do it.
Wow. Well, that's awesome. Well, thanks, Chris. I really appreciate that. Now, let me just go back to here. We're going to have all this camera stuff in front of us. But honestly, the pictures are better than... There we go. So, yeah, there we go. But like you say, we
better up here.
They look better up there? Maybe. Yeah, there you go.
They actually kind of do look better up there.
There you go. There's this one.
More natural light.
These two.
This was the first test that I'd done.
Hello, Sandra. Yeah, he did a good job, eh? But you should see when he actually does the picture themselves.
This is the one that we did just now. It's still a little too saturated, but looks good.
Yeah. So, anyways, well, thanks. This was just an impromptu, just to give you some different ideas. I know I've got some different ideas, that's for sure. I like the texture, putting that extra texture on there. So, yeah. See, Lila really appreciate. Lila does an awful lot on my Facebook group. So
it's great. So that texture idea works with tons of stuff. If you like, I do find that the felt tips on these are rigid enough that you could even do, like, in some cases, if you want to do corduroy or details on clothing, you can do them with the darker colors on there and you get a fine enough line. But for that, I would wait for the first layer or second layer to dry first, and then you get that. So a lot of nice like subtle details that can really make an image
Awesome. All right, you guys. Well, yeah, this has been really good. You wait, I've been crafting with the grandkids too. So yeah, we've been making friendship bracelets. So
Yeah.
and hopefully we're going to be coloring with them later on. We might do a fast motion sort of thing with them coloring that potions and spells stamp set. So anyways, yes, he has amazing knowledge when it comes to the art. I don't know where he got that from, but anyways. School, see? Nothing from me. So there you go. Anyways, you guys, thanks very much for watching. Remember to give us the thumbs up, share our video. We really do appreciate it. And remember to take time to create because it's great for the soul. Bye for now.
Bye.